Hello everybody and welcome back to competitive multiplayer. It is now November and it's a bit soggy. It keeps raining and it's rather cold as well. There's not an awful lot to do, which is, really expected at this time of year. The crops are in except for one field. That last field is not going to be done until April because sorghum and soybeans are April. The chickens, on the other hand, are producing their eggs, so it's all good here. But really, we're really waiting for the spring so that we can start to put those crops in. So we do have contracts to do. But before we do that, we've got something to show you. Now, this was actually a suggestion from many viewers, and I didn't really know what to think. So Chainsaw made the final decision on this, and really a lot of people said, get a shared forklift for the store, so the store can load up things. Now, Chainsaw has implemented this into the game, so we can now load products here without bringing our own forklift here. But there is a rule, and that of course is this is not allowed to leave this yard. It's not allowed to go on the road, it cannot leave this area. It is solely for loading up fertilizer bags and pallets just here. So the idea is good, but it's got its limits obviously. So as it is November, there really isn't much to do, but we're going to try and find as much to do as possible before we do move on. We are just going to have to move on some months in these episodes because there really won't be anything but contracts. And as we have found, it's impossible to please everybody. If you move on too many months, someone says, oh, you're moving on too many months in each episode. But then if you don't move on many months in each episode and you just do contracts, people say, oh, you're just doing nothing but contracts. It's so boring. So you really can't win. Anyway, that seems to be full once again. We're not getting through this grain that quickly. So I think we can probably afford to sell something. Let's just see. So the barley is going to peak at 1,137 in January, and the wheat is going to peak at 1,224 in January. So I think we'll sell our wheat, and then we can keep hold of the barley, and then hopefully by the time we have consumed all this barley, we'll have the sorghum ready next year. That would be good. I'm actually surprised that wheat is worth more than barley, but there we go. Interesting. Right, okay, so without any further ado, let's get a little bit of money, and we're not going to do too much in the way of contracts, but we need to do something. So I've just noticed there is log transport, 11 trees. I probably could do it actually. I probably could do it. Is it worth the money for us to use our Skidsteer? Probably not. So the logs are down here, got to deliver them to the... No, we won't do that. So we'll just very quickly do a decent fertilizing job. We'll book that one out. Was there another good one? Yeah, those two are pretty close to the farm. We'll do those two. So that can be the first job of today. But before we do, we need to make sure we've got the bag with us, otherwise it's just really slow. And I'm wondering if we should return the Bobcat for the time being, because we don't need it 100% now. Yeah, we'll probably just return. We will need it soon because we're going to have to move our pallets again, but I think we can probably go maybe 3 or 4 months without it. The egg pallet is filling up rather slowly, as you would expect at this time, because we've only got a few chicks and just a very small handful of hens which are ready to lay eggs. Okay, yeah, so if we go and get a bag of fertilizer onto here, we can then do those 2 jobs and hopefully we can make a fair bit of money. I'm a big fan of the Bobcat though. So yeah, let's just get rid of that for the time being, but it's going to be back very, very soon. I would like to buy it outright, really. I don't want to keep renting it at all. Renting is great, but when we have to continuously do it, we just really need to buy it. So, yeah. We'll get 1 big bag. And we're going to have to go onto the shared farm to operate the forklift. So here it is. Very nice. Of course, Shared farm expenses really do stay within the shared farms account, so you can leave the engine running on here. There'll be no real implications about that. I won't do, but sometimes I'll probably forget. Okay. There we go. Put it in the middle. I like the idea, but yeah, it does make it a bit easier by having the shared forklift, because if we didn't have that I would have to keep using the Bobcat, and so would Chainsaw. He would have to get a Bobcat too, or something similar. Right, let's go. I should probably strap that. There we go. So I'm just going to get these 2 jobs done in one time lapse, and then we can find something else to do, but we'll probably have to move on to December actually. And that is field number 2 done as well. So we can now collect the money. So that's not bad actually. We've boosted the account to 7,295, which really is needed, because we're going to need some decent money for the planter to put the sorghum and the soybeans in. I wish I could attach the trailer with this attached to the back. We can, but as you saw in the time lapse, it's just not the right amount of clearance, and yeah, it catches. So we'll take this setup back to the farm, and well, it would be good to move on to December, I think. I'll speak to Chainsaw, because except for contracts, we have got nothing to do. Ooh, oh no, what are you doing? Strange. I tried to get out of the tractor and it just froze up. Yeah, this is a handy trailer, so I should buy this trailer. The Skidsteer is 25,000 plus the attachments for the front, so that's a little bit further out of reach. And actually, I think that the first big thing we need to buy is probably more land. December, here we come. Chainsaw is ready. So, the price might not necessarily be at its best for wheat, but we'll definitely keep a close eye on it. And I had to go into the shared farm to be able to sleep, so we'll go back into our farm. And yeah, this is where we are, basically. Now, to address some comments. There were a few people who wanted me to sell some of these sheds, and I've just looked into it. And we can't. You can't. You can't remove these sheds here. They're part of the map. So we'll just have to keep them all. Right. So yeah, there's even less contracts. But the good thing is we're closer to the spring. Not by much. By a bit though. So 12.24 is that price we're looking for. But we've actually got 12.29 already. So we should sell the wheat. We need to attach to the trailer. We need to tip the barley out. I wonder what the price of barley is like. Maybe that has somehow magically become more expensive. I doubt it though. Let's just watch how much it takes. So it's about, what, 200 litres, if that? Ah, yeah, barley's not as good. So yes, we will put this back into the silo, we'll swap it with wheat, and we're going to sell the wheat. It's going to be good to have that money. And I really do want to get another field. Because obviously the more land we have, the more money we're going to make. The more crops we'll have. And the more worthwhile it'll be renting the direct planter. The grass fields are pretty small, so we could potentially get one of them immediately. But at the same time, I don't want to end up with nothing. That would not be good. Okay, so barley goes in. Wheat comes out. And we're off to the sell point, just over there. I think it's the one closest to Chainsaw's farm. Not much space here. Let me just spin around. Yeah, the winter is always going to be the most boring time for these episodes. But as we progress, we're going to have more and more to do. We'll have access to more machinery. We'll have more animals and stuff. We'll have forestry to do at some stage. We'll have greenhouses. So it's going to be good. Let me just triple check that. Sell point. Yeah, it's the one over there. Perfect. Alright, so this is the wheat that we harvested from our own fields in episode number 1. So we're going to see the reward from that. We have already sold some. Coming through, please. Pretty much half a trailer. But at this stage, half a trailer means a lot. Especially when you're crashing into trees. Right, watch that bank account. Although this is the only grain we're going to be able to sell. The rest will be for the chickens. Okay, so we have 14,954. I know, it doesn't sound much when you're talking about land prices, but let's just see. Like for number 5, that's really close to ours. That is 11. Yes, we could afford that. It's 11,880. I think all the ones which are opposite our farm are probably a little bit out of reach. Yeah, it's 33. That's pretty much what we've got. And yes, we do not want to be out of pocket. We don't want to have no money. Ooh, Chainsaw has got a fit. Did he buy that or is it rented? Interesting. It's more powerful than this. I keep almost running this man over. Right, so he's upgraded. I still think I'm going to put my money into land. Let's go and check out for number 5. I don't know how to get to it, but let's go and have a look. Need to make sure we've got enough money left over for renting. For number 5 actually is pretty small. It's somewhere over there. We can actually tab to it. Yeah, so it's, well, it's not that bad actually. Does it include this? Let's have a look here. No. Okay, so that would be that, and that would be that. That would be 11,880. Leaving us with a bit of money. It could be worse. So how much would it be for the planter? These are going to take a fair bit of power, aren't they? It says 70 horsepower. So realistically, we'll probably go for this one here. And if we were to go with that, yeah, it would be 1,300. Okay, so yeah, it's not a bad idea. I think I'm going to go for it. Oh, it's also 100% loam. Wow, that is good. So there we go. We own for number 84, 14, 7 and 5. I'm very happy about that. We're left with £3,000. But yeah, it was so far from being able to do the planting, because that is not until April. Let's have a look here. Let's try and find another contract. Okay, that might be a bit out of reach. Okay, Deadwood. I will accept that contract. We're going to have to cut the pieces up so small that I can pick them up by hand without the use of super strength. Look at them. They really do stand out. Okay, well, let's get them taken down then. Potentially quite a bit of money's worth of wood here. Oh, where's my chainsaw? It goes into... Somebody said it goes into somewhere. Where'd it go? Hand tools. There it is. Pick up. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realise you could actually, like, drop it. Thank you. Always nice to know these little tips. And I can pass them on to somebody else. Oh, wow. That went the wrong way. So we're going to do all this without the skid steer or anything mechanical. We're just going to cut them up and throw them into the trailer. They're all going to go that way because we've got this this fence here. So the contract is going to be completed almost immediately. That's why I need to make sure I do not collect money, because then we'll lose the trees. We need to sell the trees first. So we get paid for felling them, and then we're going to get paid for the wood, which I think is pretty good. However, how big can they be? Because, like I said, no super strength. How strong are we? Oh, we can pick that up. That's not bad. But this one, no, can't move that. Can struggle away all day, and that's not going to move. So, what can we pick up? Can we pick that up? Nope. So it's going to have to be that in half. But it's not going to be a problem. I would just position the trailer close, then we can just throw them in. I can pick them up, that's good. Wonderful. Okay, right, so the rain is here, how delightful. We'll park as close as possible. And then hopefully I can just hurl them in. Although I don't really know how you throw something as heavy as that. Come on. That is a heavy one. That's right on our limit. Yeah. Well, we've got the fence we can jump on. Oh, did that go in? Or did it go over? Oh, blimey, it went over. Well, do not worry. You do not have to watch anything painful here. I will time-lapse this. There we go. We got it in. This could potentially be really good. And that, I think, is tree number 2 finished. may be quite painful to watch in a time lapse with all the moving around, but let's just see how far we are. Oh, it's getting a bit muddy here. Of course, I can't strap, so we don't want to lose the load. Wow, it is quite muddy here. I think I might take this. We'll do 2 in each tray load, so let's go. Don't know if this farmer appreciates me driving over their ploughed field, making a bit of a mess. Yeah, the more I look in there, the more I think, yeah, we could have probably got all of the trees in, but it doesn't really cost any more to do it in 2 loads, and it means I don't have to spill any, because you know what I'm like, I'll go and spill them all. So I think it's just safest to do it in 2 loads. If we could strap them, yeah, it would be fine, but we can't. Well, my tyres are cleaner. I must have put all the mud on the road. I will be popular. But here we are. Yes, we are ready to see how much it's actually worth. 2 dead trees. I'm not really expecting much, and it is all extra, so whatever we make here is good. I daren't predict, but I'll just say 1,000. Yeah, I shouldn't have predicted. Although, actually, if we get that for each load and then the contract price itself, it will be over 1,000 in total. Is it worth the time? Probably not, when you look at the spreading contracts, when you're spreading fertiliser. But we'll get it done. We won't waste these last 2. It's still £300 extra. All clean on this side, but we do have one which went over. Yeah, I've cut these quite big and they're really on our limit. Can barely pick them up. But I think that's it. No, that was just gonna happen, wasn't it? Ugh, it's not a lot better really. But there we go, we've got everything in. Good job I split them into 2. And we can make some money from this, and then we can collect the main money from the contract itself. It wasn't really worth much, but it's December, it's pouring rain, there's nothing else to do, I don't think. Yeah, because we've now got 2 new fields, well, 1 new field, and we've got 2 grass fields in total, it actually means that what I could do is have 1 for sorghum and 1 for soybeans. So we'll have our chicken food, and we'll have our soybeans for just selling, and the soybeans will be best priced in the summertime, so we have to make the money from them almost immediately after harvest. Probably immediately, actually. So, yeah, I'm very pleased that I bought that field. It's a shame it's not bigger, but you've got to start somewhere. And that's it, load number 2. Wow. We're rich. Right, and finally, £600 collect. So we finished there with 4,209. Could be worse. Wow, look at that. Cultivating contract worth 13,000. That isn't that big either, is it, that field? It looks quite big, but it isn't that big. If we had a cultivator, we could do some of them. I just don't know if it's going to be worth it. We could get this 4-meter cultivator, and we could use that in a field. To lease it, it would only be £484. But it would be quite time consuming, and it would be worth what? We can't do that big of a field. But yeah, we could. Maybe we could do that one. That would be quite a push, though. Or would it? Well, we're going to take this trailer back. I'm going to put the barley back into here. You wouldn't do that in real life, of course, because yeah, it's going to get really wet. But in this game, you don't lose any yield or anything. It doesn't just rot. It should do, but it doesn't. But yeah, it's going to go in here because then we can basically just keep feeding the animals as we pass through a couple of months until we get into the spring. Chainsaw is having issues with his water because he has found out that it costs him money. You can get it from the lake for free, but it's slow to refill apparently. But to get it from a silo is apparently not free. It's not an issue for us right now, but if we get greenhouses, it will be. Okay, so we just need to keep these animals fed, these chickens fed. Because as you can see, they're producing eggs quite rapidly. I can hardly see the ground for all the eggs. Yeah, I mustn't forget we do need the soil data for our field. Oh, that's alright. £175, so we'll get that in. There we go. It's all loam. Did I not pay for that one? I thought I did pay for that one. Oh, that's annoying. Well, that's funny. We can see chainsaws, even though we didn't pay for it. Yeah, I thought I did pay for that. Oh. Okay, well there we go. We've paid for it. And yeah, that one's 100% loam too. So both of our grass fields, which are going to be arable crops, 100% loam. That is so good for yield. And actually 14 is mostly loam as well. This field here, on the other hand, is not good. That is a bad field. So I could end up selling it eventually, but I'll probably just use it for productions. I think that'd be a perfect use for that field when we get to that stage, but we're not quite ready for that yet. Right, so I am done actually. I just need the spring so that I can start to put my crops in. So yeah, Chainsaw has purchased this polytunnel, and that's where he's putting all the water. But because he can obviously only afford the smallest tanker, or second smallest tanker, yeah, it's a lot of shuttling backwards and forwards because the lake is not that close to here. And actually, it would be quite interesting just to go and see that lake because I've never really looked at it properly. It looks quite nice from the mini-map. I know you wouldn't look at a map in real life and say, that looks like a nice lake without even seeing it in person, but it's always nice to have water. Yeah, it does, it looks nice, look at that. Beautiful, even in the rain, in the middle of winter, it looks nice, but that is a good place to fill up tankers. And we'll have to do it at some stage. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really hope we can get into the spring next time. I want to get drilling, I want to get the planter in, so we can plant our new fields. Well, this one here, and this one here. Should be good. What's that? Some kind of line of water? I got a random puddle, which is crossing the map. Interesting. Oh well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.